Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, here's a nice little story. Jacob Rees-Mogg is currently on resignation watch by the Tories, but he did come out yesterday and said he has no intention of, and he confirmed this, he has no intention of leaving the Tories and joining Reform, even though yesterday his daughter announced that she was a member of Reform and she was an activist, and she was actually at the Reform conference, as indeed was Jacob. That's one of the things fueling all the speculation. He did say before that he wouldn't consider joining Reform yet, was his word. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Absolutely makes you wonder. However, and this is where we go, he has confirmed that he would be willing to talk with his very good friend Nigel Farage and give advice should Reform win the next election. Basically be a special advisor to the new Prime Minister, Nigel Farage, and give tips on how to control the civil service, how to help pass laws swiftly through that you need. Give a lot of technical advice. He said not really advising on policy, not his job, but when it's a policy he can get behind, to certainly help guide policy through. Maybe, if not create the policy itself, but also mould a policy that would mean, well, what you've got would be very difficult to get through. Do it this way, trim a bit there, shape it a bit there. It'll go through much quicker. Things like that. This is a man of many, many years' experience, of course. A very wise man, a very clever man. A man with a forensic mind and someone who thinks deeply before speaking and acting. He would be an asset to the party, even if it was only in a special advisory role rather than as a full member or even as an MP for them. I personally think he would be a very good fit for Reform. I think he's actually quite wonderful. I really do. I mean, I know he's as posh as can be, but he does seem to understand real issues. I mean, he sits very much above us in terms of class, but he does appear to be aware of the problems and, trials and tribulations of people, lower down in society, even at the bottom. He's aware, and he's one of the very few that actually is. And given his position of extreme wealth and entitlement, almost, you could say, it's nice to see that he does actually do it. I mean, he was all those years an MP, never took a salary, didn't need to. He did it for the love of the job, not for the love of money. He is an inspiration, really. And I think that if there were more like him, Britain wouldn't be in the shithole state it's in. But he was saying to them that the civil service are often obstructive, but there's ways round it, he says, and you can force the civil service by dint of threatening changes. They don't like change, he says, but it's easy to do. So, I foresee that if Reform do, and it's very likely they will, form the next government, that even if he's not part of the government officially, he will be on that advisory board for Farage. Do you think that's good or bad? One other thing I would say is that Farage is actually looking at perhaps having a US-style, what's the word I'm looking for? Administration. He says there's no reason why the people responsible for various departments have to be MPs. If you're going to get someone in to run education, why not get someone who's many years in education? They don't have to be MPs. He says you can take someone and say, right, we need someone in charge of technology. Let's get a technologist in. Do you need someone in charge of the military? Let's get an ex-general in. Just ennoble them, put them in the Lords, and they can still be ministers. You can be a minister from the Lords, of course. Indeed, we've had prime ministers who sat in the Lords. David Hume, was it David Hume? No, philosopher. Alex Douglas Hume. There you go. He was a Lord. He was the Prime Minister. Can be done. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.